Hello, I'm the Irish Guy, and yes, welcome back to my Premier League weekly predictions, where I am taking on a different YouTuber every week. You get 10 points for a correctly predicted scoreline, 4 points if you guess the right outcome but wrong result, and 3 points for every correct goal scorer. I'm gonna compile all the YouTubers in a big leaderboard, and whoever has the most points in May, that is whose forfeit I have to do. Yeah, currently Craig from Anfield Agenda is in the lead, after crushing me with 73 points. He got 3 correct scores. And what forfeit did he give me again? If he wins the whole thing in May? Oh yes, it was this.
What I would like for the Irish Guy is to go bald.
Please, no! Imagine being bald. Anyway, welcome to today's guest, Lee from Arsenal. Sorry, Lee. You pulled it off well, but I don't want to be bald. Okay, Lee, what forfeit do you have in store for me?
Lee Judges here, and first and foremost, if the forfeit, I've had a little think about it. Tough one, but I'm going to do this. Fed up with you being the Irish guy. I want you to be an English guy for a day. So I want you to go and buy the England shirt, put it on, and learn to sing the national anthem.
The national anthem? Not even the England manager wants to sing the national anthem. I don't even know what it's about. Something about wanting to kiss the king? Of all the weeks to give me this forfeit, Lee, it just has to be the week where Grealish and Rice turned my stomach. Even now, just remembering those goals in Dublin. Even now, I'm on the verge of bursting into tears. Right, let's go. Southampton versus Man United.
Southampton 1, Manchester United 2. Goal scorers, Rashford and Fernandes for Manchester United. Cameron Archer for Southampton.
Interesting one, Lee. I think Cameron Archer will be a big lump of broccoli in a Southampton shirt. So, do I see him scoring past Andre Onana this weekend? No, I think there's more chance of him morphing into a werewolf and feasting on local grannies after midnight. But I do think Manchester United will win 2-0, goals from Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo. In a week where this club have not stopped blushing, now that the former Academy yogurt pot Angel Gomez has turned into an overnight England international star. Then, okay, at least then, okay, if a teenage midfield kid who they didn't kick out, I think Mainoo will at least deliver a powerhouse display in midfield. And yeah, will score an absolute rocket into Aaron Ramsdale's net. Come on, lads. Manchester United have not lost against Southampton away from home since August 2003. That's nearly 8,000 days ago. Manchester United do not lose to the Saints, but also the goals in these fixtures have also quietened down a lot. I mean, whereas during the 2021 season, these two meetings produced 14 goals, including 9 in one match. Yeah, there's only been 5 scored in the last 4 clashes between Southampton and Man United, which really stinks of 2017, when these two sides played against each other 3 times, and just 1 goal scored. Lukaku with a tap-in. So yeah, this won't be a crazy entertaining game or anything, but Man United will grind out the win. Although they are still going to have less possession, I think the Saints will gobble up 57% of the ball, and if I'm wrong, if Eric Ten Hag's men actually dominate possession with over 50% of the ball, then I will lick yogurt off a public street. Brighton versus Ipswich.
Brighton versus Ipswich, going for a 2-0 win here. No surprise, Danny Welbeck and Pedro will be the goal scorers.
Again, our predictions are very similar early doors. He's gone for a 2-0 Brighton win. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Brighton win. 2 goals from João Pedro and 1 from Yankuba Minte, as they will utterly terrorize McKenna's men. And lads, I take no pleasure because the Seagulls are masterminded by the hipster poster boy, a kiddie coach who probably still wears Spider-Man pajamas to bed. I mean, most Premier League managers are grown adult men who go to bed with their wives. This fella is probably still getting tucked into bed with his teddy bear. Whilst Ipswich, I should like them because they have 3 Ireland internationals in their team. Although poor old Sammy Smodix and Chidozie Ogbene. They're now new friends, sure, but I have a feeling, after a long, draining year of being spanked at both club and international level, because unfortunately our new dentist manager Heimer Hallgrimsson, he looks like the Icelandic version of Big Sam. Oh, these two are going to be very sick of each other. Crystal Palace versus Leicester.
Don't see a lot of goals in this one, but I think Eddie's going to come on and make the difference. So I'm going Eddie Nketiah, and he will score the goal.
I'm sensing a pattern here. Predicting Welbeck to score for Brighton and Eddie Nketiah to score for Crystal Palace. This is a man who stays loyal to players even after quitting Arsenal. Christ, well, this is someone who probably actively hopes that Arsene Wenger is enjoying a nice relaxing picnic in a Mongolian jungle, right? Having a steak sandwich brought to him by some wild lemur. This is a man who seems like he wants nothing but the best for ex-gunners. So fair play. This is someone who's probably definitely not chasing ex-girlfriends down the street. But then again, what Arsenal fans would do that? Oh, I've said too much. Look, fair play for backing Eddie, but I think Nketiah is going to prove himself to be a £30 million donut in the Palace shirt. I'm sorry, but if a 5-goal-a-season striker and someone who is 12th choice England international number 9 to think he's now worth £30 million, then the world has gone mad. I'm half expecting to look up and see a dinosaur nibbling the moon. As nothing makes sense anymore, I'm going to go for a Palace win, but 3-2. With goals from Ibrahim Ezi, Daishi Kamada, Ismail Assar, Jordan Ayew, and Bobby Reed in a really crazy match. And lads, if Steve Cooper, someone who looks like if Mickey Mouse smashed it in his face with an anvil, if he actually manages to leave Sellers Park at a club where he so very nearly became the manager a year ago, then I will get a stranger to throw donuts at me in the middle of the street. Fulham versus West Ham.
Goals. No surprise here. Smith Rowe, I think, was going to get one. Iwobi and Nelson's going to get one. Bit of a theme there, all Arsenal players, but there you go.
Are you kidding me, Lee? Every single goal scorer is a former Arsenal player. Are you telling me, Lee Judges, that match of the day is just going to look like an Arsenal museum of former players? Smith Rowe, Iwobi, and Nelson? As if this is a Gunners Academy kickabout session?
3-1 to Fulham there.
Okay. He said West Ham will score 1. Okay. I swear, if he hasn't plumped for Constantino's Mavropanos, then I will eat my scarf.
And Bowen for West Ham.
You got lucky, Lee. I also think West Ham are winning this game, but just 1-0 with Lucas Paqueta scoring a penalty in what will be a pretty dull and gruesome match. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest.
Liverpool, I'm going for a 3-0 win. Didn't want to do it, but I think there'd be too much for them there, and I'm going to go with Jota getting 1 and Mo Salah then getting the other 2. So a 3-0 win.
Yeah, I also think Liverpool will win 3-0, but the goals will be shared between Diogo Jota, Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah. I mean, obviously, this will absolutely be easy, light work for Arne Slot. Yeah, they're absolutely going to carve through Forest with complete and utter ease. Just such an easy win. So, of course the Reds are winning this. Of course. Liverpool have been utterly fantastic in the first few games of the season, and I really don't think that Nuno Santos' primitive long ball tactics are going to cause them any trouble. I mean, sure, the Reds should make sure not to foul anyone within 30 yards of goal, because James Ward-Prowse has one world-class attribute, and that is free kicks. Sure, he might be a fairly mediocre run-of-the-mill modern-day Leon Osman in every other aspect of the game, but lads, he's got a Beckham-esque Janino Pernambucano wand of a foot. I'm not sure how he can be so mediocre and vanilla as a central midfielder, but he still possesses one dynamite quality that could literally rival Messi. It's crazy, but as long as the Reds don't give away silly free kicks, then they'll keep a clean sheet. Man City versus Brentford.
Manchester City. I'd love to see Brentford do something, but it ain't going to happen. 4-0. No surprise. Haaland 2. Silva and De Bruyne with the goals there. Not too happy about that.
Oh, you can tell. You can tell he was briefly contemplating tipping a shock Brentford win, but even he knows that if he uttered those words, he would suddenly look more insane than that homeless guy who brushes his teeth with dead bloody rabbits and who rubs Kit Kats on his armpits. Look, I think every bottom half of the table underdog team, I think they get one shock win at the Etihad in their lifetime. And Brentford already used up their one win in November 2022. They ain't repeating that trick. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 5-0 City win. Erling Haaland with 2 and goals from Phil Foden, Savinho and Kevin De Bruyne, who's fresh from an international break where he once again slagged off his Belgium teammates. Considering this is someone who publicly called them too old at the last World Cup, then his compatriots must really hate him. Do you reckon any of these Belgium internationals will even wish him a happy birthday on X? Do you think they even give him a Facebook poke? After all the stinging criticisms he's laid at their feet, I'm guessing 1 or 2 are probably going to turn up to his funeral in 50 years just to spit in his coffin. Well, lads, so far, me and Lee have predicted the same winner in every match. Surely not again. Aston Villa versus Everton.
I'm going for Villa to win this 1-2-1 tight game, but I'm going for Watkins to get his first goal. Rodgers, very impressed with him when he played against the Arsenal a few weeks ago to score. Calvin Lewin getting a consolation for Everton.
He's done it again, that Lee Judges! Once again, tipping a team to win who I am tipping to win. I actually think it'll be the exact same score. Yeah, I think Aston Villa will win 2-1 as well. I know this sounds like a match where Villa should absolutely blow the Toffees into next week with a 4-0 win, but no, I actually think this will be tight and a potential Villa banana skin because Sean Dyche is under mountainous pressure. He's got the potential new Everton owner John Textor literally discussing his future in public. The internet is flooded with reports that David Moyes is soon going to be taking back the job he walked out on 11 years ago, which would be about as inspiring an appointment as a cauliflower baguette. I know he did brilliant work at Goodison Park before, and he even proved himself again at West Ham. But what manager do you know goes back to a team after being a decade away? I can only think of one. Kevin Keegan going back to Newcastle 11 years after he quit. And he lasted 8 months. 11 years is far too long to be away. Christ, well, it ain't the same club. If Moyes replaces Dyche before Christmas, he's returning to a completely different institution, to the friendly home he left in 2013. Christ above, even his favourite lunch lady is probably dead. But anyway, I do think Dyche will get a reaction from his players. They will man-mark their old boy Amadou Onana tightly in midfield. They will absolutely frustrate Villa, but yeah, still, a 2-1 home win. Goals from Luca Digne against his old club. And yes, he will celebrate, unlike Declan Rice, who thinks he's too good to celebrate against his former team, the absolute human turnip. And yes, whilst Ollie Watkins continues to play like a walking, talking goldfish, I think John Duran will replace him after 60 minutes and immediately add a second before, yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin slides in the last minute consolation as the pressure heaps on poor old Dyche. Bournemouth versus Chelsea.
My surprise one is this one. Bournemouth 1, Chelsea 0. Marcus Tavernier is going to score a worldie.
Oh, you can tell how happy Lee was to predict the Chelsea loss, but doesn't he know that I'm the creepy Bournemouth fanatic around these parts? Yeah, it's very normal on this channel to predict the Cherries win, Lee. Don't worry, you're safe to say that here. I'm not gonna look at you as if you just admitted to fancying polar bears and mini skirts. I'm someone who tipped Chelsea to finish 15th, and yeah, I do believe Bournemouth are far and away the better manager. I think Andoni Iraola's ceiling is far higher than Enzo Maresca's. In 5 years' time, Iraola will be your Arsenal manager, Lee, while Maresca will be selling sun cream and boots. Okay, no, that's not fair. No, but it will be something naff like Cagliari. I'm gonna go for a Bournemouth win too. I reckon Justin Kluivert will open the scoring, purely because I remember his dad scoring the winner for Newcastle against Chelsea back in 2005. Cole Palmer will level things up with a second half strike before Antoine Semenyo bundles in a late second half winner, giving Bournemouth their first home win over Chelsea since they bullied them 4-0 in January 2019. Tottenham versus Arsenal.
On to what I think is the best and biggest game of the weekend. Is the North London derby. This, I think, is going to be a really, really tight, tough game. But I'm hoping Arsenal will come out winners and their defence will come out winners as well. I'm going for Tottenham 0, Arsenal 2. King Kai getting both goals. If you don't know who King Kai is, it's King Kai Havertz. He's going to get both goals for a 2-0 North London derby win for the mighty Gunners.
Finally, me and Lee have disagreed on the result because no, I don't think Arsenal will win. I'm going to say something unthinkable which will make the Gunners fans furious. But Tottenham 2, Arsenal 1. Lads, we are due a Spurs win in the North London derby. It's been nearly 2.5 years since a Tottenham win, when they battered the Gunners 3-0 at home 854 days ago. This is the longest drought Tottenham have experienced in a derby since they went over 8 years without a victory between November 1999 and January 2008. This is the longest wait for a win over Arsenal in 16 years. They are so thirsty for a North London derby win, and what better time than now, when Arsenal have a completely depleted midfield. Martin Odegaard is out injured, and Declan Rice is still suspended for that laughable red card for slightly nudging the ball away. But then again, considering I actually defended this man in the Prem catch-up, only for him to then chuck my sympathy back into my face by literally smacking one top bins in Dublin, then maybe I take back my defense of Rice. Maybe your decision to kick the ball away against Brighton was a hideous crime worthy of serious punishment. Yeah, maybe I've revised my opinion now, and now I do think that nudging the ball away was akin to pushing a lollipop lady in front of a truck. Yeah, chuck Rice into a Guatemalan prison and throw away the key. But I do think Postecoglou ball runs rings around a central midfield partnership of Thomas Partey and Jorginho. Two men slower than a couple of elderly Wolverses. Sorry lads, but I'm going for an overdue Spurs win. Bukayo Saka will give Arsenal an early lead, but Spurs will rally and snatch an equaliser through Christian Romero from a corner kick and then roared on by a full house. I reckon super sub Timo Werner immortalised himself into Spurs folklore by banging in the winning goal. Just you watch. Spurs are winning. Wolves versus Newcastle.
Wolves 0, Newcastle 1. And I'm going to take a gamble and say Isaac's going to get the goal.
Nah, look, I know, in a managerial battle between Gary O'Neill and Eddie Howe, it is no comparison. One is the greatest English manager in the world, and surely the number one choice to take the Three Lions job was O'Neill. I genuinely reckon he's about 23rd in line for the job, and that's if you're only considering English candidates. But still, despite all that, I just can't unsee a frustrating, dour, really ugly 0-0 match. I think the Magpies will completely dominate and should win, but I just see a really wasteful afternoon. And also, let's be real, neither me or Lee have predicted a single draw. It's obviously not going to be a weekend filled with just wins and defeats. There has to be at least one draw, so yeah. 0-0. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Big thanks to Lee Judges for his predictions this weekend. Go check out his channel. Absolute gem of a guy. Any final words, Lee?
And who knows? We might see the Irish guy in an England shirt.
Gulp. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Can Lee from AFTV overtake Craig from Anfield Agenda at the top of the leaderboard? We shall see. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to go like, share, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.